Alright, so you guys are ready?
Don't tell me what to do.
I was asking.
No, that was not a question. You guys are ready.
So, you guys are ready?
There was a clear raise.
Hey guys, welcome to Dem Guys, a podcast where three nerds, sometimes more, talk to what they like to call the listenership, which I'm pretty sure is just their imagination. I don't think there actually is anyone.
Nice intro. Flawless first try.
Wow, amazing.
It only took me a minute to come up with that.
60 seconds.
Really? It doesn't show at all.
It took you a minute to say it.
Would you rather I use the one where I have stats about who has the most video views?
No.
That was relevant last week because of my new highest video view number. But...
Well, that was a long time ago, but you made Drew, if you guys didn't know, Drew made a video congratulating VintageBeef on his 1 million subscribers.
Yes,
yeah.
It was very well received.
And we took part in it, and the reason it got so many views is because I was in it.
Keep telling yourself that. Yeah, I thought I got a lot, and then I looked at your channels, and I was still last, so.
It's okay, Drew. No, that video did take off, though. Do you know what it's up to now?
Over 5,000.
Nice.
It's over 5,000!
That joke was totally in my head. I was hoping it was over 9,000.
Okay. Well, that got sidetracked very fast. So, if you guys would... Oh, wait. Are we supposed to do introduction?
We always miss the introductions.
Yeah, it's true. Alright, well, I'm Drew.
I'm Slash.
And I'm SnoShoe. And we are...
Dem Guys.
Dem Guys.
Wow.
We were supposed to say it together, but it's...
Oh, are we?
Skype. I don't know. It sounded like a Three Musketeers type deal.
Guys, it has been so long since we recorded a podcast, we've forgotten how.
We've never done that before. That was brand new.
And who is to blame, Slash?
That's true.
You, as always.
I think it might be Slash.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think... Well, look, here's the thing. The first delay in the podcast was Drew and myself. And you, SnoShoe, was like, oh yeah, I'll find somebody to take things on and whatnot. So,
I said that?
Yeah, you were like, yeah, I'll find a couple of charismatic people and I'll do a podcast by myself with some guests.
Oh yeah, I did say
and
that.
I was gonna hold you to it. And then it never happened.
That was for show.
Oh,
we do actually have a podcast guest lined up for hopefully the next episode.
Oh, well, that's good.
I don't even know about this, so that's awesome.
That's because you don't read our Dem Guys podcast chat.
Pretty sure I do.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do too.
Okay, well, we'll discuss it after this podcast.
Yeah.
Anyway.
If you guys would like to email us topics or questions or whatever, you can send your email to demguyspodcast@gmail.com.
demguyspodcast@gmail.com.
Or you can tweet at us, which is also at demguyspodcast.
At demguyspodcast.
Hey, I guess SnoShoe didn't forget how to do that.
No, I didn't.
Good.
Actually, every time when I log on to the Dem Guys accounts, I see how fast I can type it compared to how fast I can say it.
That's pretty awesome.
SnoShoe needs a hobby.
Yeah, I have none of those, clearly. Well, actually, speaking of the fact that Mac, your name is Mac now. Mac.
Yes, I'm secretly Kurt J. Mac.
Kurt J. Mac.
I'm using
Mac
a
J.
filter
Mac.
to
Mac
change
J. Mac.
my voice.
Well, anyway, he was gone last week, obviously. And Drew and I did this new thing called the Dem Guys Sideshow that we're starting, I guess.
Yep, this is a new thing that will be continuing for sure, definitely.
It was fun.
It was very fun.
Such convincing delivery.
I think it's going to continue.
This is a new thing, and it is great. You will see more of it. Stay tuned to this channel.
His levels are over 9,000.
But yeah, you guys played Castle Crashers, and it was cool because like I sit down and I'm like, hey, what's this? There's a video uploaded on the Dem Guys podcast channel. Why would there be a video uploaded?
Somewhere in Siberia for the past week, I think.
Yeah, it was. I actually didn't get your reaction before, so I'm really happy about that reaction.
Yeah, I think it turned out pretty well. I think it's something that we'd like to continue at least, where maybe if one of us is gone, we can just play a game and upload a video, or maybe we can do it in between podcasts whenever we're bored.
Yeah.
We're hoping to have it a little more regularly than every other week when we don't have a podcast.
Right. Well,
So-
clearly I don't think any of us are doing anything Mondays at 7, so we're at least free most weeks.
So there
Correct.
you go.
So, moving on.
Speaking of videos on the channel, other than the podcast, I'm also planning on getting up relatively soon. I was actually going to try to get it up sometime this week, but it'll probably be maybe next week, between this episode and next episode. I'm going to have up a montage video of my scavenger hunt prank that I pulled on the both of you.
That he did not foreclose that it was a disclosed.
I did not
Sorry.
foreclose on your property.
Yes, I'm working on buying a house. Things are very jobbled in my mind. Disclose. He did not disclose that this was a prank.
I mean, he's not really supposed to.
I know, but he labeled it as a competition, not a prank.
I did indeed.
Intentionally devious.
Yes. It was, yeah, and I have to say, I don't think I gave proper credit in my setup video. I wanted to say that the idea, the general idea of, like, having you guys, have to follow a trail or whatever, actually came from my wife, Oiverlinde. She was the one who suggested that concept. And then I came up with the idea to throw you down a pit at the end.
Nice.
Okay, so it was like good cop, bad cop type deal.
Yeah, a little bit. I guess that would apply there. Yeah, but if any of you listening haven't seen it, you can check out the individual perspectives are on each of our channels, but I'm going to be putting together a little montage for the podcast channel just because it involved all three of us, and I think it would be fun to try to edit something fun together.
Yeah.
With that. But basically, I tricked the two of them into killing themselves.
I had a lot of fun being on the receiving end of a scavenger hunt because a while back on the Aftercraft server, I did something kind of similar where I put books around the world and I had them race to see who could get to the end of the scavenger hunt first.
Oh, cool.
And, yeah, that was a lot of fun setting up, but you definitely did a better job than I did. So.
Yeah, what I was thinking, I was going to take your inspiration here and go for like an amazing race theme for kind of a build in the next map.
That would be pretty cool.
I thought it would be cool if we could have like 6 of us at a time on the server or something, and you'd say go and everybody has to race like from world border to world border, basically finding different things.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. It's an idea.
I'll have
All
to
right.
see where that goes. Speaking of world borders, Minecraft is updated to 1.8. That's one of the features in it, is the world border.
You know how many features are in this dang 1.8? The video I've actually linked in our podcast document is a song by, I can't remember who it's by actually, but it's also in the description if you guys want to check it out. And it's a song that lists everything that's been updated in 1.8.
And it's 3
crazy.
hours long.
They sing it pretty quickly, so it's only like 8 minutes long, I think. But, I mean, like, I can't even believe that Granite was in 1.8. That seems like a 1.7 snapshot at this point.
I know. Well,
Yeah, they were working on it for quite a long time.
Oh,
the
yeah.
1.8 update, and it's funny because when it published in the launcher and the I guess it's Tumblr is where they post the changelog when they do an update. When that page refreshed and it's like Minecraft 1.8 the bountiful update, and it's like scrolling and scrolling and scrolling
Yeah.
to look at all the lists. It's funny because when you play on a snapshot server like the VBFS and you get used to some of the changes that were put in early, you forget that they weren't in the actual game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I can't imagine not playing on a snapshot server.
I
Like,
know, especially
100%.
with the delay that there was
Yeah.
before this update. It helped me a little bit to realize what was in it because of the Achievement Hunter series that I was doing, the Rules That Matter.
Right.
I was doing that in stable Minecraft, so that was still playing in 1.7 until just recently. There's an episode of that coming up on my channel this week that's the first one in 1.8, which doesn't really change anything because the world around me is already generated. But anyway, I as a result of that, I have been like caving and stuff, and it's like there's no granite or andesite or diorite, in those caves. So it's like, oh yeah, these aren't in the game yet.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I'm very excited about a lot of the features that they put in there. The new stone types don't excite me all that much. I didn't go out seeking them when we got onto the
I was just thinking how long ago that was that those were added.
Yeah.
And that's how long 1.8.
It's been over a year since the previous update, so...
No.
Yeah.
Has it really?
Yeah.
Wow. I remember when our server first updated to 1.7, and I went out with Baker and explored the new lands. That was a year ago. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's been a long time. It's pretty nuts.
Wow.
I just wanted to mention, if you go and look at the changelog and scroll all the way to the bottom, there's lots and lots of other changes. And then in capitals, another thing is lots and lots of other changes. And then right below that is removed Herobrine.
Yeah. They remove Herobrine every version. He keeps finding his way back in, apparently.
They remove every snapshot. Dang guy.
Yeah.
Well, actually, with Minecraft 1.8 releasing, that signals the klaxon, as we call it on the VBFS.
As opposed to the clacks off?
Yes, as opposed to the clacks off. That sounds weird.
Klaxon? Clacks off.
Yes, perfect.
Now I'm picturing Karate Kid.
Yep.
Anyway, that signals the siren that Diversity 2 is releasing, and it has actually been released as of today when we're recording this. Diversity 2 it's obviously a sequel to Diversity, which was probably my favorite Minecraft map ever, and it's on Curse, it's the most downloaded Minecraft map ever. Number 2 Minecraft map according to PC Gamer. All this stuff. It was really good. There were some problems with it, which is crazy that it got as popular as it did because some of the branches were really frustrating, and I didn't think they were that good. But basically what it is, it's called Diversity because it has 10 different branches based on 10 different aspects of Minecraft, like parkour, survival, doing a labyrinth type things, and...
Right. Puzzle maps, and dropper, and all that stuff.
Yep, so there's a ton of different 10 different levels, and it's a CTM, so you have to complete the monument. Every time you beat one of those branches, you get a wool. And Q-Magnet, the creator of this, has gone above and beyond with Diversity 2. I can guarantee you guys. I've already played a fair amount of it, and it is crazy. He's assembled a build team that includes some of the best map makers that Minecraft has, I guess, to make each of the different branches their specialties, So... It's really cool. You guys should check it out. There's a link in the description for that as well. And people have been long awaiting it. I want to go play more of it right now. It's so good.
Yeah, it's funny. I watched you play the first Diversity map. And I thought it was really, really interesting. And I had thought, maybe I want to give this a try. But, by the time that I had thought that, I'd watched you play, half of it. So I was like, this probably isn't going to be as entertaining for me now that I've seen, because I think you started off with some of the puzzle stuff first. So, so the stuff that would really be I got to think about this or whatever, I've already seen the solutions to. So,
right.
It's not, that doesn't, appeal to me as much. But what I'm thinking I might do with Diversity 2 is I'm thinking I might actually play that for my channel as well. And just not watch any of your content at all.
Yeah, you totally should do it. It's suited best as a 2-player map, but you can play it solo like I am.
Okay.
Also,
well,
supposedly the difficulty is going to be a little bit harder if you're playing solo. But
interesting.
Yeah.
So that might be something. I'll check your stuff out once I've played through it.
You should. It's epic. It's so good.
Yeah, I'm looking for. I mean, it was the first one. The concept behind it was just phenomenal, and it was just seemed really well executed.
Right, and that's what this one is. It's that concept, which is really, really good for a Minecraft map, taken to these crazy levels where each of these builders who've built the best X map have combined in Diversity to make the best branch, or to make that branch.
Now, I have a quick question.
Hit it.
Do the Diversity maps have any kind of story to them, or is it just a challenge and that's it?
There's stories within the branches,
okay.
But overall, it's just a challenge to get all the wools. As far as I know, I mean, there could be a broader challenge to Diversity, or a broader story to Diversity 2 that I don't know about yet. But there is kind of this portal-type feeling, at least in the first one, where you're thrown into this place and all of a sudden, no spoilers, but it kind of you get out type deal.
No spoilers, but the main character dies.
Oh yes, the main character dies plenty of times in the parkour branch.
Only when he's controlled by SnoShoe.
Oh man, that parkour branch was terrible. I'm looking forward to this one because Q-Magnet says it's a lot better, but we'll see.
Cool.
Anyway, that's super exciting. something else I'm super excited about. I'm just super excited this bye week.
Actually, it's been like a month, but whatever.
I've been excited this whole month. Actually, we were going to talk about it last week, but PAX just happened. PAX concluded when we were going to record the last podcast. And there were some cool games, some cool announcements that had happened. The one I'm most excited about is this new game called Firewatch, right? And so I showed Drew. Did you watch the trailer? Didn't you?
Yeah, he showed it to me, and while it does look cool, it's definitely not my type of game. But I'll let you talk about it because you're very excited.
Drew and I totally
about
have opposite tastes. Like Drew doesn't even like. What'd you say? You didn't like Minecraft maps, I guess.
That's not what
CTMs.
I said.
You said CTMs. No,
that's not what I said at all.
Hang on, guys. I will pull up the incriminating evidence. I'm not super big on adventure maps, unquote.
Yeah.
That's pretty close to what I said, okay.
That doesn't mean I don't like them. I think they're really cool. It's just, I
don't really like them. Enough bickering. Anyway, the point is Drew and I have pretty different tastes in this kind of stuff. So Firewatch is the game built in the Unity engine, I think, and it's kind of a cartoony type game where, I guess 3D cartoony. It's in between reality and cartoon, where you are a person in 1988. You're a guy who's gone out to be a fire watchman to escape his family and boring life for about 3 months. And it's based in Wyoming. I guess there's like a historical story thing about fires in 1988 in Wyoming that actually happened, and it was like national news last year. Remember this? I know you weren't very old in 1988, but
no, I was 6, so okay. you can continue.
Yeah, but so basically he's a fire watchman, and you're completely isolated from basically the entire world because Wyoming is about the most sparse state in the United States. And all you have for social interaction is this walkie-talkie. And on the other end, there's this lady named Delilah. And you're just a fire watchman, and you're trying to figure out, well, what the heck is this game even about? Then it turns into a thrilling mystery. And I don't know what happens after that, because it was a teaser trailer.
Yeah, they don't have a whole lot. I was looking at the frequently asked questions on their website, and they describe it as like, you're watching for fires, and you have radio with your supervisor, and she's your contact with the outside world. Period, right? And then the very next item in the FAQ is, well, that's a bit of a tease. Yeah, we know, it's still under development.
No, it's pretty far along. They had a stream last weekend, I think, and they showed off about 30 minutes of gameplay. And it's really good, I think. I'm excited for it. The developers are from Telltale Games, some of them are. They've combined to make another development company called Campo Santo. So it's their first game altogether. The music is by some renowned game music maker, but the music sounds really cool in it. I'm always hyped on that. But yeah,
cool.
It's going to be awesome. 2015, guys.
It looks interesting to me. I'll have to keep my eyes out for it.
Check out. I'll link you the video. I don't think we'll link it in the description. If you want to search it, you can. I'll link you the video. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Drew always sums up his right before his topics okay, and that's where you stop, and this is where I
start. No, I just forget, and then I'm like, oh, right. So, another thing that was announced at PAX that this was pretty much the only thing I saw from it, and I only saw it because it was an ad before one of the YouTube videos I was going to watch. And I'm like, oh, wow, that looks really funny. So, I've played quite a bit of Saints Row. And even though I would not recommend it to anyone because of quite a bit of the content is just, wow. They're also insanely fun games. And I don't fully understand what it is. They said it's an expansion, so I don't know if it's...
It's a new story, I guess.
Right. I don't think it's DLC for Saints Row 4. I think it's just gonna be a downloadable game. It's not quite a full game. It's called Gat Out of Hell. And if you know anything about the Saints Row story, you know that, I guess I should mention, if you haven't played Saints Row 4 and plan to, there is kind of spoiler. Basically, you play as Johnny Gat, who is, one of the main saints, and he's just like such a bad A character. And basically the main character that you normally play as gets like sucked into hell. And so Johnny and Kinsey go into hell to save him and to kill Satan. So
naturally.
And they actually show it in the trailer. What did he say? He said something like,
he says, "I'm going to shoot the devil in the face."
and then at the very end of the trailer, spoilers for the trailer, I guess, Johnny Gat walks up and just points his pistol and shoots the devil in the face.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's such a, it's so ridiculous and stupid that it just looks so awesome.
That's what Saints Row is, though. I read a Reddit discussion about this not too long ago. The model of this game, at the very first, Saints Row, this is Saints Row 4, obviously, this is an expansion for Saints Row 4. Saints Row 1 was basically a carbon copy of GTA, whatever it was, I can't remember.
Probably
and,
3, maybe?
I don't think it was, I think it was earlier than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was basically whoever, I don't know the developers, but that developer's version of GTA.
Volition.
And so the second one got a little bit crazier, and then the third one just went off the deep end, and the fourth one continued to dive down. But everybody has given it more and more positive reviews as the series has gone on, because it's kind of diverged from GTA in that way, because it's going off the model of, well, this game is completely ridiculous, you don't have to really worry about the story, but you're just going to have a crap load of fun playing this game.
Yes.
So, I've never played it personally. I don't know if it would be my kind of game, but it looks insane for sure.
Yeah, it's funny. Saints Row straddles the line for me with, I love a game. I love anything, any form of media that doesn't take itself seriously. I just get the biggest kick out of something that knows it's ridiculous and embraces that.
Guardians of the Galaxy, kind of?
You know, it's funny, that I haven't even seen yet. But
really,
I
you
think
should go see it if you like those things.
Yeah, I think that falls into that category.
I want to see that again. Sorry.
But,
it was really good.
but on the other hand, I don't like how vulgar they are.
Oh, this is beyond vulgar.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that, because that just comes off too gratuitous. Like, it's like, okay, yes, you are, ha 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 ha, you're horrible people. I'm not, that doesn't appeal to me at all. It's like, it's a one-trick pony kind of thing.
I will say, watching it probably as an LP would not be as good as playing it for sure.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Because you wouldn't get the exhilaration of slapping somebody in the face with something that is not allowed to be shown on TV.
Well, and that's the kind of thing that, like, I don't even do that stuff in the game. I avoid certain parts of the game when I can. But there's other stuff that's just so ridiculously fun that, yeah, why not?
I guess.
So,
yeah, I don't know. I can't speak from personal experience, but it's definitely to each his own type deal, and the people who play it love it.
Snow, I would say if you didn't have a problem watching Wolf of Wall Street, you probably won't have any problem playing these games.
I don't really have any problems with the gratuitosity.
Okay.
That's a word now. Of any of it. It's just very weird.
Okay.
And I don't know if I would be sitting in a room alone being like, haha, let me go do this. Like, and what I would think about myself after that.
Okay.
Anyway. Speaking of games, the 4th edition, starting with S. Nice save!
Wow.
Seamless transition.
Perfect. The Sims 4 came out this week. I can't remember what day it came out. I got it the day it came out, though. I was excited
Did you
for
really?
it. I didn't. Yeah, I did. I didn't want to hear any of the reviews before I got it because I barely played The Sims 3, but I played a lot of Sims 2. And that's another game that's kind of to each his own because it's so focused. It appeals to a broad amount of people, but a lot of people really hate it because they see it as kind of a light game, not a girls game type thing.
Yeah.
But amazingly enough, all of these people who have kind of bashed it are now coming in to see The Sims 4 and then realizing, oh my gosh, they've taken out all of these features, and then people are just piling on top of this game. Honestly, I played it. I streamed it actually a little bit, and Drew stopped by for a minute or two before his internet broke. And it's been a lot of fun. I will say there's some things, I have a list here of things that it's taken out, that even I think if you haven't played the game, I think you can still understand some of these. So there's this thing called create a style. This is what a lot of people are really mad about, is that if you want to put, say, wainscoting on a house, you can choose what pattern that wainscoting is going to be. And there's all this style that you can pick, and you can apply that style to the wainscoting. Well, that's completely gone, so it limits your options a lot. But the creative style expanded to a huge variety of options. Now that's gone. People are really angry about that. People are like livid about this game.
Yeah.
It's a little bit crazy. You can't modify public spaces, no normal careers, there's no open world. People are angry about that, even though The Sims 3 was horribly optimized for an open world. But yeah. No pools in this game. Now, this next one is the one that kind of annoys me. No terrain tools. So when you're building your house, you can't level up or level down the ground. And whenever I was on my stream, I was creating an evil mastermind, and I was going to make his house like this normal-looking house, and then with a underground basement that was going to be awesome. Nope. Couldn't do it, as far as I know. So that kind of bothered me. No story progression, which means that if you have neighbors, in the old Sims games, you could have neighbors and they would have babies or get married all on their own. Now, those Sims won't progress through their lives without your interaction, basically. No toddlers, which is weird. I haven't tested that out, but I think the babies just pop into children. There's no, like, in-between stage.
Interesting.
Yeah, that could be weird. That's about it. There's some other semantical stuff that people are really angry about. But I don't know. Maybe it's because I didn't play that much of The Sims 3, and everybody said that was so good. I didn't really see the improvement, or the disimprovement from Sims 3 to Sims 4. So, I don't know. I think it's an improvement on Sims 2, which is what I'm happy about.
I just wanted to show you guys a picture from Rob's stream of Sims 4.
Now, Rob is actually creating Sims based on people who tweet him pictures of themselves.
Yeah, but he started out making Paws.
This is actually Pause. This is Sims 3, isn't it?
No, that's Sims 4.
Okay. So Rob has actually gone and is trying to get his money back for Sims 4, I believe. And
really?
He's starting a series on Sims 3 instead.
Well, he had been planning to do Sims 3 for a while. I'm one of his patrons, and he sent out an email to the patrons anyway, or maybe he tweeted it publicly. I forget. But basically said, thanks to my Patreon, I am able to do this. And it was back during the Steam sale, but it showed he was buying Sims 3 and all of the expansions.
Oh, geez. That sounds like a lot of money. There's a lot of freaking expansions for that game.
Yeah.
Now, that's one of the criticisms, though. The Sims 3 is obviously notorious for expansions because it can prey on 13-year-old girls who want the next update of The Sims, and they can basically add very little content to the game, make you go buy an expansion for $25 or whatever it is, and you'll be happy as a clam playing it with the base game. So, my sister, for instance, I think, actually, they're right next to me. I'm staring at, like, 6 expansion packs to The Sims 2.
Oh, I thought you were saying your family was right next to you. I'm like,
yeah,
really?
I podcast with my family surrounding me. That's great.
Sitting in silent judgment.
They do. Yeah, actually, I'm going to edit them in, and they're going to be like my gallery, where they say this podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience.
There you go.
Anyway.
Okay, hold on. Quick rant.
Hit it.
I hate that phrase, that announcement before
The live
sitcoms
studio
when they
audience.
say it's filmed in front of a live studio audience. As opposed to what? A studio audience full of dead people?
No, as
What
opposed
you
to-
mean
audience is
is
a bit
that you are
redundant.
filming it live in front of a studio audience, not
Yeah.
in front of a live studio audience.
Yes.
And they all make that mistake. It ticks me off.
If
But I
somebody said it
digress.
backwards, though, people would think they're weird.
That's like when people say, I could care less.
Yes.
Yeah, that's also confusing. I
Yes.
hate it when people say 4 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, yeah, I know. You just said
Oh,
that.
yes, as opposed to 4 a.m. in the afternoon.
I've never heard anyone say that.
Really?
Yeah,
I've run
I
into
say
that
4 in the morning or 4 a.m.
It may be a regional thing. People by me
Maybe.
say it all the time, and I'm like, shut up. Conversation's over. Well, that was a tangent. Where are
That
we?
was a bit of a tangent. But, and by the way, it's now legally required across the globe to link such people to Weird Al Yankovic's Word Crimes video.
Okay.
But in any event...
That is a great video.
Back to The Sims. I have not played The Sims 3. I played the original Sims, and I played The Sims 2, and we have a bunch of expansions. Well, we had a bunch of expansions for both. We don't have any of the Sims 1 stuff anymore, but we had a bunch of expansions for The Sims 2. And Sims 3, when it first came out, it ticked me off because of some of the decisions that they had made for that game compared to The Sims 2. But now I'm looking at The Sims 4, and it's like, at the rate that they're going, The Sims 5 is going to give you a house, right, that is laid out specifically with specific furniture and specific places, right, with a family in it, and you get to, like, control them, you know, and that's
Right.
it. You don't get to do anything else. You don't get to change anything. It just seems like, you know, the trend right now, they're just taking more and more stuff out and changing things in stupid ways. I don't understand these decisions to not have, like, no pool. I mean,
Yeah,
that's,
and
you
I
have
think-
shipped an incomplete game if you have shipped
Yeah.
a Sims game without the ability to have a swimming pool.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was getting at with the expansions. I think people are most angry because EA has this reputation of basically screwing people over with multiple series that they have, such as Battlefield.
Yeah.
And
Right.
they, in this game specifically, they sell all these expansions. Well, now that people are getting this game without all of these features, they're like, well, okay, they're just going to include these features and make it a $25 expansion. And actually, EA, to make matters worse, the other day, one of the EA representatives said, we have no plans for a Sims 5. We're not even thinking about it. We're not talking about it. If the Sims 4 does not do well, we will not make a Sims 5.
Well, I hope Sims 4 doesn't do well then.
That's such a terrible thing
Yeah,
to
I know,
say.
because it's
That's guilting people
It's
into it.
like-
Because, like, obviously we want the Sims 5, but
No, we don't!
I do.
just go back and
I-
play Sims 3.
I mean, I feel like since The Sims 2 that it's just been downhill and it's not been worth. It's
I
not
own
been
The
worth
Sims
even
3,
looking
but I
at.
have never played it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know what the reason for that is, but I am enjoying The Sims 4, and I think if you didn't play The Sims 3, then I think it's probably a decent buy.
Well, I actually... Okay, then.
That's just such a great endorsement.
It is.
If you didn't play the previous version of the game, which was much superior, you will enjoy the current version of the game.
Exactly. Where's my sponsorship?
That's
EA?
like if you...
I'll be looking
That's
for
like
the
if you've never played any of the Assassin's Creed games, Assassin's Creed 3 will be fun.
No, that hurts my feelings.
Oh man. Oh, it hurts.
Well,
My stomach.
I
hurts.
actually just started playing Sims 3. I've never played a Sims game before, but it was one of the games I bought in the Steam sale, and I am doing what no other person has ever done before, which is I'm attempting to play every single game that I have on Steam.
Nobody's ever done that before?
Most people buy games
I
in
totally
Steam
did
sales
that,
and
by the
never
way.
play them.
Okay.
I'm in the category of person that doesn't buy games and therefore doesn't play them.
I was gonna say I
Okay.
bought Portal 1 and I played it, so I win.
Okay,
That
well,
is the one winning criteria to purchase specifically Portal 1 and play it.
I played my entire library after I beat that game.
There you go.
Okay. But yeah, I'm trying to play all of my games before I buy any new ones. So I will not be getting Destiny, even though I really want to. And that actually launches tonight at midnight, so it's already out for you listeners.
That was a really
But,
good transition.
That was fantastic.
I know I'm
it's-
breaking it up by calling attention to it.
You're
seamless.
ruining it all, SnoShoe. Drew
I don't
worked
even
really
care.
hard
I
at
just want
that
to give him
transition.
compliments.
But yeah, Destiny is launching, and I played the beta, and it's definitely a fun game. And they just came out with a live action trailer this past week, and that was very, very funny, and it made me really want to play as the Warlock class, which is like they shoot magic and stuff. It's awesome.
You conveniently forgot the link on
So-
that one. I would have watched that video. Actually, I'm gonna go look it up after this. So what is
Okay.
Destiny? I don't get it. I feel like they've not advertised this game at all very well.
It's very well advertised on like the Xbox and everything.
Like on the actual
Which-
console or on TV?
On the actual console. And I mean, I see stuff for it online and stuff.
Right, but I see stuff
Yeah,
for it,
I
but
don't
all
know.
I see is the black screen with the little tri logo thing that says Destiny.
Okay,
And I'm like, okay.
so I'll tell you about it.
Okay, thank you.
Destiny is made by Bungie, so Halo people. But
Hello.
it's like an MMO. It's specifically console based though. Right now it's going to be PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. And you play as a Guardian of Earth. Basically, you're like one of just a few hundred, or however many people play the game. But basically, you're supposed to be a small number of people that are left alive. The Earth is kind of just like a wasteland now. It's in the future. And you have like special abilities and stuff. And there's this darkness that's coming to Earth, and so you are one of the Guardians, and you just like you fight aliens and stuff. And I mean, it's a first-person shooter and it's an MMO. So unfortunately, I don't know too much about the story. They've kind of kept that hidden. Like I know the whole like you awaken as a Guardian, and like you kind of start out protecting Earth, but I have no idea what goes on with the whole darkness thing. So
I'm intrigued, but I think that'll be an LP game for me. Again, Drew and I have completely opposite tastes.
Yeah, I mean, because Beef had played some of it when it was in alpha, and then again in beta, I think. And it was funny because when I checked out the first video, and it does all the normal cutscene stuff at the beginning that most games do, and I'm like, wow, this seems like a really neat concept. You know, I could kind of get into this, right? And then it starts, and it's like, oh, it's just a first-person shooter. Like, I lost interest very quickly at the actual gameplay part, because the concept, I guess you can do a first-person shooter with this concept, but it didn't feel like something that it didn't mesh for me. For this sort of concept, I like more of an open world kind of do whatever environment rather than, you know, I'm gonna run around, I'm gonna shoot a bunch of people until I get to the end of the game.
Yeah.
So it didn't really appeal to me as a result. But I might be selling it short. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is definitely more for a first-person shooter audience. Like it's Bungie and Activision. So.
Oh yeah. Well, that could be. Those are good developers.
I mean, there's a very popular first-person shooter MMO on Steam. It's free to play. It's called PlanetSide 2. Now, it doesn't have nearly as much of a story. Basically, it's a big open world, and there's 3 different armies, and it's just a massive battlefield, and you're constantly fighting. So,
well,
yeah,
I guess we'll see how it does. I mean, we know how it's going to do. It's going to do fantastic, and it's going to be the #1 selling game of all time, whatever. I can guarantee you it's going to be a huge hit just because of all the Halo fans have been waiting for something new, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's I would say for me, like playing the beta and what I've seen of it, my expectations going in were definitely lowered because of how disappointed I was with Elder Scrolls Online. And so I will say it is a fun game, but it's not necessarily going to grab you and you're going to like lose track of time and spend hours and hours and hours. So it's a good game, but it's not an amazing game.
Okay.
I'll say
Interesting. Speaking of the Xbox One, actually, that was a terrible transition. I just want to throw this out there. This wasn't actually on our doc, so I didn't come up with a decent transition for it. VintageBeef has been invited to be in Forza Fuel. I'm sure neither of you have looked this up. It's been slightly under wraps.
Well, Beef did tweet something, and I joined it.
What it is they've invited 8, I think, gamers or YouTubers or something that have some affiliation with Forza. Obviously, Beef plays a lot of Forza with Kurt, right? That's the game they play. I get the racing games a little bit confused.
I don't think they play Forza together.
They don't play Forza. They do F1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beef has played Forza on his own, right?
Yes.
I believe. I think he has. So they've invited 8 gamers to come to Europe and take part in a real-life supercar road race.
Wow.
And so, this September, so it's this month. And I think that's why Beef is in Portugal for this extended time. And so he's going to hop in a supercar and drive across the freaking continent.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I had not heard about this.
Yeah. I linked it for you right there. But
this is news to me.
If you guys want to check it out, it's xbox.com/ or just Google Forza Fuel. What the heck is this URL? Google Forza Fuel and join Beef's team because I think the winner, some points go to the people with the most followers. I don't know.
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I did join his team. I'm like, I don't know if this, because he said, hey, like this will help me or whatever, and I'm like, I don't know how this will help because I'm not actually getting the game, but sure, why not? So now I understand.
No, okay. So I'm looking at it right here. Day 1, they go from Bologna, Italy to Monaco. Day 2, they go from Monaco to Marseille. Day 3, they go from Marseille to Barcelona. That's crazy. That's a once-in-a-lifetime deal. That's exciting for Beef.
I hope they have, like, GoPros or whatever, like, set up in
sure.
the vehicles so we can...
I think all these people are YouTubers, so they'll have something with it.
That's exciting.
That's
very,
it's
very
going to
cool.
be crazy. How nervous would you be getting behind the wheel of a supercar and then being told you're going to race
I
it?
would be very nervous.
That'd be
That's a
pretty
no.
nuts.
I'm
excited.
excited. I'm excited to find out what kind of car he's driving.
Yeah, he is too. He doesn't know yet, but it's going to be intense. Speaking of people that don't know things, one thing we didn't know until 3 weeks ago or something like that, a long time ago, but it's relevant. Nobody saw it coming, but Amazon bought Twitch.
Yeah, that was crazy.
What? I thought we talked about it on the podcast actually, but I think it was a discussion near a podcast where somebody had mentioned, well, it would be cool if Amazon bought Twitch, but YouTube no, or Google no. And then all of a sudden, it was like the day before people had reported that YouTube bought Twitch, and then there were all these reports of somebody buying Twitch, but nobody knew who bought Twitch, and everybody there were people saying, my dad bought Twitch, I bought Twitch, my dog bought Twitch.
I'm Spartacus. Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, Amazon actually bought Twitch, which is really cool, I think. I'm very excited versus very disappointed for Google.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I think Twitch and Amazon together make sense from sort of the cloud services perspective.
Right.
And I think Twitch benefits from the fact that they'll be able to make use of Amazon infrastructure, to improve the service. So. And I think Amazon benefits from Twitch because they can probably, it's their first real foray into a live streaming kind of thing. They do video on demand type stuff, but
wasn't Twitch like a top 10 website right now?
Yeah, I guess I don't know.
It's pretty high up there. It's a huge acquisition.
Yeah,
but
it's definitely one of the more well-known websites out there at this point in
Yeah.
time. Probably because of all this, like, Twitch plays Pokemon and stuff like that, that got it some extra attention in the news.
It's grown like crazy since the Justin TV days, which I think we talked about was actually shut down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's insane. But the awesome thing I think about Amazon is exactly what you said, Slash, is that they're going to lend their hardware and all of their stuff, whatever the word is for that, to Twitch and infrastructure. That's what it was. Twitch is going to get all this new Amazon infrastructure, I hope, because Twitch obviously has some issues that they've recently incurred with delay and that kind of stuff that people are a little bit angry about. But Amazon is, when they buy companies like this, generally they're non-intrusive. So they basically own the company. They say, hey, we're here to help you out and whatever you want to do, but you go ahead and keep running it as you're running it, and we'll be your umbrella, basically.
Right.
And they've done the same thing with multiple other companies, if you look it up. One that comes to mind is they actually own Zappos, which I didn't know until recently, the shoe distribution online site.
Okay.
And they're so far out of that you don't even know they own it, but they do.
Yeah, and I think that's a good strategy. A lot of companies will go in, they'll buy things, then they'll make it their own, and it ends up being worse than it was originally. And the whole reason you buy it is because it's at the top of its game, and you want to be a part of it.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
And so I think it is better when because a lot of times you find out they buy these companies, and then they end up laying off like 3/4 of that company's workforce.
Yeah.
And then that company...
that happens tons of times.
Yeah, they can't perform the way that they had been performing, and so they're no longer at the top of their game, and they're no longer a worthwhile purchase.
And the thing that's
Amazon
relevant
seems
to
to
us,
have figured it out.
Yeah, the thing that's relevant to us about all of this is that Twitch now is going to get all this, hopefully, ground support from Amazon and become a legitimate competitor for YouTube. And hopefully breed YouTube into something that doesn't suck.
Maybe.
Because even this past week, the past 6 days, YouTube can't figure out how to schedule uploads. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I know.
Everybody's been having issues with scheduling uploads, and they don't come
Really?
out. Yeah, I had it for my diversity video, the first one, and I knew it was going to happen because I had seen people tweeting it, and I sat there and watched it, and it was supposed to come out at noon. I waited till 12:15, nothing, so I publicly released it. So
I saw that
this podcast is late, that's why.
I was supposed to have a video out on Saturday, and I didn't even check YouTube to see if it had come out. And then, like, Saturday night, I saw that Co-Star had tweeted that he was having issues with it. And I went back to YouTube, and I'm like, 0 views. And then I looked, I'm like, it hasn't been released yet.
Yeah.
What the heck, YouTube? So.
Interesting.
Yeah,
See,
Pyro's had a lot of his videos do that. You know, he uploads in a weird way because he plays to the American market, but he's in Ireland, obviously. So he's uploading videos at like 4 a.m. his time and making them live at that time. And so he wakes up and all his videos are live. Well, now he wakes up and he's got a backlog of like 4 videos and has to release them all at once.
All right.
To us, it's really not that annoying, I guess. It's just kind of annoying that our videos don't get out. But if you're making a living off of it, I can't imagine.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Well, you know what? I just noticed that myself. I didn't even look at all, but I had a Terra Firma Craft that was supposed to go up Friday night that just went live earlier today.
Okay.
Well, there you go. The more you know.
I had no idea that was the case, because, I mean, as soon as it was scheduled, you know, I have YouTube set up, it emails me once it's scheduled.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, apparently, according to this, as of recording, it had been up 3 hours, and it was supposed to go up Friday night.
That's
Genius.
so annoying.
I had seen that it came out a few hours ago. I had no idea when it was supposed to come out, though.
It was scheduled for Friday.
That's been going on for like 6 days. Come on, YouTube.
It's not, like, the thing that annoys me is that clearly this was functionality that was working.
Yeah, what are they doing to it?
So what did you do exactly? What has happened that now it doesn't work? And here's the real kicker. As soon as you notice it doesn't work, you revert all of the changes you've made until it does work.
Exactly.
And then figure that. Like, that's just software development 101 right there.
I just wish if Twitch had a better way of earning money, because, you know, that's kind of what my channel's premise is. It's an attempt to earn money for charity.
Right.
If Twitch had a better way to do that, I would totally become a streamer and spend... I mean, there's so many more benefits to streaming versus creating videos if you can get the same kind of audience that I would totally do it. And even just streaming the other night, it was fun. I had a couple people come out.
If you've got enough of a viewership, you know, that you can stream and you can get, you know, 1,000 or so people watching probably is where more or less the line would be, right?
Yeah.
You know, if you've got enough of a viewership to do that, the amount of overhead is drastically reduced with streaming because you just go. You know,
exactly.
People know that it's live. They're not expecting cuts. You know, if you're doing grindy stuff, they're fine with watching you do grindy stuff.
Yep.
You know, that's the live streamer's audience.
Yeah,
And
imagine spending 4 hours to get 4 hours of content.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never gotten close to that with YouTube.
Yeah.
I really wish that I had the capabilities to live stream or even watch Twitch. My internet, it used to be fine. I can't even watch Twitch for like the last, 3 months or so.
That's another sucky thing. There's not really a way to get around that because obviously it's live, so
yeah,
it eliminates a large part of the market because, I mean, you have to have a decent to good internet connection to watch streams.
Yeah. Well, I could go on a whole rant on how our internet infrastructure in the United States is borked all crazy, but
I could go on a whole rant about YouTube, so
yeah,
we can rant.
Before we go down rant central, let's talk about things that we like that are on YouTube.
Yes.
Coincidentally. Not because it's on YouTube, but because it's a cool video.
Yep, and they just happen to choose that service. Out of all of the myriad options.
Yeah, because there's not a monopoly or anything.
So, I happened to see this video. A friend showed it to me a few weeks ago, and I just really wanted to share it because it's hilarious. So, we're going to have a link in the description. I recommend that you watch this. It's essentially a trailer for the movie Up, as if it had been directed by Michael Bay. So it takes scenes from Up and just adds lots of explosions and stuff.
It's
and
pretty fantastic.
It's
my girlfriend
so
showed it to
great.
me quite a while ago, and like the how dramatic they make the trailer is really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do a fantastic job. You can, if you go searching through YouTube, you can find a lot of, like, you know, movie trailer as a different genre. You know, like Ghostbusters is a horror film, or like they'll do things like that. Well, they'll just cut things together in a certain way and use certain music that it makes it look like it's a completely different type of film than it actually is. And I love those because I think they do a really good job of illustrating just how much Hollywood is manipulative. And trying to get you to
Right.
think certain things or have certain feelings towards things.
I didn't realize how stereotypical dramatic trailers were. Whenever I watched this, I was like, "Wow,
Yeah.
that is every dramatic trailer I've ever seen."
Yep, it really is.
My personal favorite actually is, you were mentioning some of the other ones. My personal favorite is Scary Mary, which is Mary Poppins as if it was a horror film.
Yes.
Oh God,
Yes, that's the one I was thinking of. Not Ghostbusters. The Mary Poppins is a
that
horror
sounds
film.
terrifying.
It is terrifying and it's fantastic as a result.
Slash
Yes.
or Snow, I'll send it to you after this.
Okay, you should.
Yeah.
I want to see something about the never-ending story. I'm gonna look that up now.
There might be
that's
one out there
terrifying
for
movie.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have a specific video to recommend, but I will recommend the search on YouTube. David Tennant being hilarious is. You'll find a whole bunch of videos on that, but I had to work Saturday night from midnight to like 2 a.m. And roughly 98% of that 2-hour time span is me waiting for stuff to finish so that I can do the next thing. So I don't actually have anything to actively do while I'm waiting for these processes to finish doing what they're doing. I work in a computer industry for anybody who doesn't know.
You
So
just watch the progress bar.
yeah, exactly. It's that sort of thing. So I've got my work laptop next to me, and at my computer desk, my personal computer desk. So while I'm keeping an eye on that, I'm on YouTube late Saturday night / early Sunday morning, searching out funny things on YouTube, and I find these videos of David Tennant. There's one where there's a bunch of them of him telling funny stories on talk shows, and there's one that is hilarious where he's talking about the most awkward place he was ever asked for an autograph was...
I think I may have seen that.
It was in the shower at a gym.
In the shower.
Yes.
He was at a gym, and it's like, the shower that he was using was like a private stall shower. It wasn't like one of the large
God.
community rooms, right? He was like in this private stall, right? And he says he was shampooing his hair, and he's facing the wall because, you do. In a gym shower, you're facing the wall, and he feels a tap on his shoulder.
Oh, that's
And he turns
not
around,
okay.
and there's another man standing there naked in front of him with a rapidly moistening piece of paper and a pen. He's, could I get your autograph?
That's
He
totally
was like,
illegal. That's
yeah,
gotta
and
be-
he's like, he was so shocked. I mean, his reaction was just, let's get this over with as fast as possible, right? So he grabs the pen and the paper, which is rapidly becoming mulch, and just tries to like engrave his name in the pile of pulp and hand it back to him just to get him out of there. So, yeah.
Oh man. Well, you guys already heard my my video recommendation was the 45-minute stream for Firewatch. Go check it out if you're interested, especially if you're interested in mystery or puzzle, or the game is an open world too, so open world games. I'm beyond hyped for that game. It comes out. One of my favorite things, they haven't announced a release date. They just say, and like
They
the
have a
developers
release
are
year.
super cool. Yeah. I love that because I'm not ready for it on this date. That means they're gonna give it to me when the game's done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Which I think
these-
is the strategy that they should all adopt.
they should. These developers seem like they're doing a lot of really good things. If you watch the 45-minute video, you can look on the Campo Santo YouTube channel.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll transition into questions. I don't think we actually have a viewer question or a listener question for this week. We don't have one in the doc. I'm going to just double check. No, it doesn't
Okay.
look like we have anything. Y'all suck.
Our listenership sank.
Oh, so sad.
Sad day.
You had so much time, too, since the last episode.
Yeah. Come on, guys.
But anyway, Snow, I think you wanted to fill the gap.
I wanted to
question.
fill the gap with a question.
Yeah.
So, as you may or may not know, my birthday was some time ago. My birthday is some point in the year. And for my birthday, one of my gifts that I was given to by one of my family members who is sitting behind me, all of them are, They gave me a 6-month subscription to GameFly. So if you guys don't know what GameFly is, it's a rental service for video games. Same thing as Netflix was before it got instant streaming.
Right.
So you get video game discs, and it's only for consoles. It was for PCs, but they sold that last week. So you get console discs, and you play the game, and you send it back. So that actually lends itself really, really well to doing LPs, because you can sit there and play a game for a week and LP it and force yourself to get all the way through it and send it right back and then play another one, and you can have content that way. So I think that's what I'm going to try to do. Now, what I was wanting to get from you guys and from the viewers, if you guys want to comment below, or the listeners, whatever you want to call yourselves, what are some good... I want to do this in a series fashion, because obviously I can't get some of the very newest games, or some of the selection is a little bit limited on GameFly, but they have a lot of the classics. So I want to play through a couple of series, and I already have some ideas, but what do you guys think are good, some of the best console series to play through?
Oh, man. Well, my favorite console games probably don't make for good LPs, to be honest with you.
That's okay. I'll take your
I'm a big fan. I'm working my way through Final Fantasy X right now, and I'm a big fan of the Final Fantasy genre, or merchandise, or whatever. What am I thinking of? Franchise. I'm a big fan of the Final Fantasy franchise in general. I think it got a little weird recently, but up to at least 10, it was good.
See, okay, the thing about Final Fantasy for me is that I'm sure I probably would like it, but how in the heck do you get started in it?
You know, the thing is, though, the games don't, even you see Final Fantasy X, don't assume that it follows off of Final Fantasy IX.
They shouldn't.
It doesn't.
They shouldn't name it numbers then.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, Final Fantasy X doesn't follow off of Final Fantasy IX. However, Final Fantasy X-2 follows off of Final Fantasy X.
I'm pretty sure we had a discussion a long time ago about why it was called Final Fantasy and all that.
Yeah, so. I think Snow wasn't paying attention at the time.
No,
even though it was aimed exclusively at him.
Maybe it's just really hard for me to comprehend, because I've never played any of these games, and I can't comprehend how many games there are in this series that I know nothing about.
He was too nervous with his whole family staring at him in judgment
guys, stop breathing
to be able
on me.
to process any of it. But no, I would say with Final Fantasy, I mean, you don't have to start with any one in particular, but I highly recommend that you look and see what are the most popular ones. Because if you're looking at anything prior to Final Fantasy VII, is going to be very 8 or 16-bit kind of console-y type games. Final Fantasy VII is the first one that really started doing 3D world exploration stuff, and it looks like one of the first forays into it when you look at it from the perspective of today. But it's pretty fantastic. It's got a good story to it. One of the most annoying, whiniest main characters that you'll ever find, but otherwise it's a good story. It's an ecological tale, so to speak. You know, it's questing against protecting the Earth against those who would destroy it, along with one of the best villains that's ever been in Final Fantasy, which is Sephiroth, who is just brilliantly insane. I mean, he's fantastic and has a great theme song and everything. So I highly recommend Final Fantasy VII. And then Final Fantasy X has a really great storyline to it as well. And it's more on the spiritual side of things. And it really, I don't know, I guess it delves more into human nature than some of the other Final Fantasies that I've seen, against a backdrop of trying to defeat evil itself, essentially. So it's a really great story as well.
Okay, that's something I hadn't actually thought about with Final Fantasy, so that's a good suggestion.
Now
I want to get into it though, so I may try it out.
They don't LP, I don't think, all that well, because it's a lot of grinding through encounters and stuff. And
it's cool. If you 2 discs at a time.
Yeah, and if you skip over a lot of that stuff in editing, you end up just sort of cutting together the cut scenes, and then you've got a movie, and it's not really an LP anymore.
Your video gets taken down.
Yeah.
And then,
So I don't know how well that works for that, but just for general, personal enjoyment, I recommend Final Fantasy.
Cool.
And of course, I got to point to Legend of Zelda stuff as well.
Yeah, I've already played all of those. I don't know if me replaying through the story would be good or not. I'm replaying through it. I think I'm going to replay through a couple of them that I don't... Not Legend of Zelda, but a couple games that I don't remember very well as part of a series. So anyway. Drew, you're a big console gamer though, right?
Yes. You had said earlier, be thinking about your favorite modern game series, and I wasn't entirely sure what you meant by modern, and so I just pulled up, I actually have a written list of my favorite top 20 games,
Okay.
and so I was just going to
He
list
keeps it in his
some
back
off.
pocket at all time.
Waiting
just
for
kinda
just
think
such
about
an occasion. He's like, finally, my list is vindicated.
So I'm just going to list some off. I'm not going to list all of them, but things that have more of a story that might kind of be LPable. So Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, Mirror's Edge, Portal 2, Borderlands, Transformers War for Cybertron, Mass Effect.
That's one I was thinking about with the Mass Effect series. I think I'm going to do those.
Okay. Prince of Persia. Now, this is a very specific one. It's hard to explain because there's a lot of Prince of Persia games, and there's a couple. I think there's two that are literally just called Prince of Persia. So it's a very specific one. And
Which one is that?
Kind of. It's the one that doesn't really go with the rest of them.
I've only played one of them, so it doesn't help me.
It's Ubisoft, and there's a lot of parkour, and it feels very
I think it's Sands of Time.
Assassin's Creed like. No, it's just called
Okay.
Prince of Persia. There's no
Gotcha.
subtitle to it.
Okay.
The cover is a guy in like a desert with like a purple and
Sand.
red outfit.
Okay, you could be describing every game for all I know. I did
No,
play
this
Sands
is-
of Time, though. I really liked Sands of Time. I played it on the Wii. It was good.
Elo Milo. Now that's not on disc. That's a downloadable game.
was
But
that?
Elo Milo. It's the best puzzle game I've ever played.
Really?
Yes,
I've never heard of Elo Milo.
it's an Xbox Live Arcade exclusive,
Well, that's...
but it's
Limited.
incredible.
Okay. Interesting. I have played Braid. That's a XBLA. XBLA, look at me. XBLA
Yeah.
game. The puzzle game that was pretty cool.
I wouldn't compare Braid to Elo Milo.
Okay, alright.
Assassin's Creed 4, which, I mean, pretty much the whole Assassin's Creed series is good, but 4 is just my favorite.
I think I told you, I think I plan on playing through all of the Assassin's Creeds, because I have 3 of them sitting next to me, and I've only beaten 1.5 of them, so...
Yeah. Saints Row the Third, as you know, I'm a fan of that. And then the final one I'm going to recommend is just a really, really fun game. It's the Surf's Up video game. Like the movie about surfing penguins.
Oh.
It's the video game of that.
I do remember that movie.
I didn't care for the movie. The video game was amazing.
I will say sometimes, like, whenever the SpongeBob video game came out, it was really fun to play. Maybe I was younger, but it seems like sometimes those weird, like, games that you shouldn't like just end up being really, I don't know, really childish fun type deals.
Yeah. / that is the correct Prince of Persia. Thank you.
Okay, 2000. It's the 2008 edition from Ubisoft, not the 1989 edition from Rotorbund or whatever.
I think this must have been right after Sands of Time.
Yeah, I think so.
Prince of Persia
Yeah,
franchise.
This one has nothing to do with the other Prince of Persia, so
Which is weird because it's called Prince of Persia.
I know.
Wait, not Sands of Time? Is that what I played? No, I didn't play Sands of Time. What did I play? I don't know.
I don't know.
Nobody knows.
Weird.
Okay. Well, while Snow is pondering that, we have reached the end of the podcast.
It's over. Oh, The
Aw,
Forgotten
man.
Sands. It's called The Forgotten Sands.
Ah,
That came out in
okay.
2010? No way.
I think
Yes, it
Sands of Time was the movie.
No, there's a game.
No,
called
there's a
Sands
game
of Time.
since time.
Came out in
Okay.
2003. Now the podcast is over.
Yep. So, thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks for listening.
See you guys next time.
Bye.